If you've been scrolling through social media lately, whether it is Instagram or domestic platforms, you've probably been flooded by a furry little monster with a row of sharp teeth and a mischievous look. That is right, it is called Labubu. You might think, isn't this just a little plush toy? But the truth is, these so-called plastic figurines and plush dolls just dropped a nuclear bomb on the capital market. At the end of March 2026, Mart released its 2025 annual financial report. This report card is absolutely explosive. Annual revenue broke through 37.12 billion RMB, and adjusted net profit hit a staggering 13.08 billion RMB. What does this mean? Its core metric, gross profit margin, exceeded a mind-blowing 72%. This means for every 100 RMB of products sold, raw materials and direct production costs average less than 28 RMB. The remaining margin is entirely used to cover brand premium, marketing, and channel costs. And even then, it still rakes in over 30% in net profit. This level of profitability has bypassed affordable luxury and is coming straight for high-end cosmetics and top-tier luxury brands. You might be wondering, for a physical manufacturing business where margins are usually razor thin, why does Mart's money making logic rival a money printer? Without a comparison, you wouldn't know just how absurd this is. Let us look at how other traditional physical industries make money. Compare it to agriculture. You are at the mercy of the weather, cycles are long, profits are thin, and risks are extremely high. Mart, on the other hand, is industrialized dream-making. Production cycles are controllable. There are no pest risks, and they earn copyright money with marginal costs approaching zero. Compare it to the apparel industry. Inventory is a graveyard. Clothing has strong seasonality, and out-of-season items must be discounted. But designer toy IPs are non-depreciating. Not only is there no seasonality, but some classic series actually appreciate over time. Because the products are small, warehousing and logistics costs are far lower than bulky clothes. Compare it to the food industry. Expiration dates are a sword of Damocles hanging over your head. Constrained by shelf life and food safety risks, the spoilage rate is extremely high. Mart sells plastic and plush. There are no expiration risks, making inventory management pressure minimal. The answer is simple. Other traditional companies sell physical functions, while Mart is fundamentally an emotional aesthetics company. It sells a fast-moving consumer good called dopamine and emotional blind boxes. The moment you tear open that box, the heart-pounding thrill of the unknown is the true source of its high premium. However, Mart wasn't born with a silver spoon in its mouth. Its history of making its fortune is full of trial and error and dramatic turning points. Rewind to 2010, the first Mart opened in a corner of a mall in Beijing. At that time, Mart was by no means a designer toy mecca, but an ambiguously positioned, trendy grocery store selling stationery, accessories, and cosmetics. The result? Severe product homogenization, consecutive years of losses, and even reaching the desperate point of failing to pay wages, causing store managers to run away with their staff. Its first and most important twist of fate came in 2015. While reviewing data, the team made a surprising discovery. A Japanese blind box doll named Sunny Angel accounted for 30% of the entire store's total sales. This abruptly awakened the management. Why work so hard to stock unprofitable groceries? So founder Wang Ning took a trip to Japan and thoroughly established the blind box plus IP business model. The second turning point followed closely, securing that little girl with the pouting lips and lake blue eyes, Molly. In 2016, Mart signed with Molly's designer, Kenny Wong, introducing her to the blind box gameplay. The moment Molly launched, she detonated the market. From then on, Mart frantically started making subtractions, cutting out the groceries and focusing entirely on designer toy IPs. In 2020, Mart went public in Hong Kong with a first-day market value breaking 100 billion HKD, kicking off its designer toy empire era. After 10 years of sharpening its sword, this little shop that almost went bankrupt finally built a jaw-dropping IP empire. Fast forward to today, Mart has built a terrifying IP matrix. It is selling the same character. It is operating a precise emotional matrix. In the 2025 financial report, the money-making ability of this machine was fully laid on the table. The absolute undisputed king here is Labubu. According to multiple data estimates, this single IP supported nearly 40% of the company's revenue. This troublemaker in the forest with its row of sharp teeth and mischievous gaze satisfies the little rebel inside modern people. Coupled with the introduction of plush materials, it directly transformed into an electronic ragdoll that you can hang on your bag and touch anytime. Heavily capitalizing on strong social attributes and companionship value, following closely behind is the Dark Queen. Skull Panda, sitting firmly at the top of the second tier. With its cyberpunk and avant-garde design, it has become the exclusive social currency for independent urban women to express their aesthetics. But the most surprising one, and the one that hits the hardest emotionally, is the defense-breaking weapon, Crybaby. In a society that forces everyone to be strong, this tear-filled image of Crybaby precisely captures the emotional soft spot of the working class. It proved one thing: providing the healing power of "it is okay to cry" is incredibly lucrative. As for the veteran Molly and the deeply solitary Hirono, along with other IPs, they are also advancing steadily, collectively building the moat of this empire. Notice it. These IPs without grandiose worldviews are like blank vessels. You can project all your current joy, loneliness, or stress onto them. Once you have good IPs, how do you make them sell out explosively? Mart's operational playbook is textbook level. Move 1. The evolutionary micro adjustment of IP. ULL notice that the current Molly looks so much better than the 2016 version. This is because Mart possesses a terrifying secondary micro adjustment mechanism. The design team constantly tweaks the doll's pupillary distance, head-to-body ratio, and paint texture based on sales data from each generation and feedback from the secondary market. This micro adjustment makes the IP increasingly pleasing to the eye, always keeping it at the forefront of the aesthetic dividend. Move 2. Omnichannel viral distribution. Adopting a model of physical stores plus RoboShops plus Blind Box Mini programs, especially the unmanned RoboShops distributed in high-traffic areas like malls and subways, which, at an extremely low cost, turn the act of buying into an instant impulse purchase as simple as buying a bottle of water. Move 3. The complex symbiosis with scalpers. This is Mart's unspoken invisible moat. On the surface, the company cracks down on scalpers, but in reality, it uses the secondary market premium brought by scalpers to maintain brand heat. Secret variants being hyped up to thousands of RMB on second. Hand platforms essentially serves as a wealth endorsement for a 69 RMB blind box, giving ordinary players the psychological cue of buying this is a steal. The social currency attribute of posting a rare pull on social media, combined with the circle culture of trading duplicates, together forge the outrageously high repurchase rate seen in the financial report. Delivering this combo of moves is what led to that jaw-dropping financial report. Of course, this road is not entirely smooth. A single IP, Louisiana Boo Boo, propped up nearly 40% of the revenue. If this little monster ever falls out of favor, the foundation of the entire empire will be shaken. For this very reason, Mart has long been setting up a much bigger chess game. Its ultimate ambition is to become the Disney or Bandai of the East. Its future deployment focuses entirely on IP realization and globalization. First, the offline theme park strategy. The Mart City Park in Beijing, SK Ouyang Park, is just version 1.0. In the future, through offline parks, they will turn IPs from plastic figurines into living entities with stories and interactions. The purpose of the park is to sell tickets, but to serve as a brand reservoir, massively boosting user loyalty and the IP's lifecycle through immersive experiences. Second, extending into the virtual world, launching self-developed mobile games with simulation and party social attributes. Queuing up to buy dolls offline, then building houses and throwing parties for the IPs together in the online game, further locking down users' fragmented time. Finally, a frantic overseas expansion strategy. Mart is entering its age of discovery. The revenue target for overseas markets is to exceed 50%. Opening a store next to the Louvre in France, burning money in New York's Times Square. It is not just selling toys, it is exporting China's pop culture and trendy design standards. From a mom and pop shop on the verge of bankruptcy to a global designer toy giant earning billions annually, Mart has proven that in an era of extreme material abundance, selling emotions is the highest tier business model. So here comes the question. Do you think spending tens or hundreds of bucks to buy a figurine you can eat and can use is paying an IQ tax? Or are you buying genuine happiness? Let me know your answer in the comments.